This week at NASA. Scientists from Argentina, Brazil, Canada, France, and Italy were at NASA headquarters in Washington for a news briefing about their upcoming international spacecraft mission, Aquarius SAC-D.
It is by far the most complex and challenging mission ever attempted through a partnership between the United States and Argentina, and has capability as comparable to any Earth science mission that NASA has flown.
Scheduled to launch June 9th, the spacecraft's primary instrument will make the agency's first space-based global measurements of salinity, or concentration of salt, at the surface of the world's oceans. Salinity influences ocean circulation and the global balance of fresh water and climate. Until now, it has remained unmeasured by existing Earth-observing satellites. 7 other SAC-D instruments will collect environmental data for a wide range of applications, including studies of natural hazards, air quality, land processes, and epidemiology. Space Shuttle Atlantis has made its final rollover from the processing hangar to the Vehicle Assembly Building at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Inside the VAB, Atlantis was attached to its external fuel tank and twin solid rocket boosters, already perched on a mobile launcher platform. During STS-135, the final mission for Atlantis and the Space Shuttle program, the orbiter and its 4-member crew will carry the Raffaello multi-purpose logistics module, filled with supplies and spare parts, to the International Space Station. Among other tasks, the mission will also fly a system to investigate the viability of robotically refueling existing spacecraft. Space Shuttle Atlantis was delivered to KSC in April of 1985 and made its maiden voyage on Mission 51J on October 3rd. Subsequent flights included STS-34 and the launch of the Galileo probe to Jupiter in 1989, and in 1991, STS-37 with the Gamma Ray Observatory, GRO, as its primary payload. Atlantis' final mission will be its 27th to the ISS. NASA Administrator Charles Bolden toured the Astrotech Payload Processing Facility near the Kennedy Space Center for a close-up look at the Juno spacecraft. Accompanied by his wife Jackie, Bolden toured Juno's Test Control Center and talked with members of the Juno test team. The solar-powered spacecraft will head for Jupiter on August 5th, where it will orbit the gas giant's poles 33 times to learn more about the planet's origins, structure, atmosphere, and magnetosphere. The Ames Research Center recently completed a series of tests that may help take some of the loudness out of sonic booms and allow supersonic aircraft to fly over land. Inside Ames' 9-foot by 7-foot supersonic wind tunnel, fans or compressors moved air over a sleek new aircraft design at speeds replicating flying conditions. A sonic boom occurs when an aircraft flies faster than the speed of sound, typically around 660 miles per hour at the cruise altitude of most airplanes. Tests like these help researchers understand the forces acting on a real aircraft and its impact, like the creation of a sonic boom, on the surrounding atmosphere.
We're measuring the sonic booms from these models in the tunnel. And we do that with sophisticated pressure measurement apparatus, and then we take those measurements and run them through the computer codes, and then we can predict how loud the sonic boom is going to be on the ground.
Data gleaned from this research will literally help shape a new generation of quieter, environmentally friendly supersonic aircraft that may fly twice as fast as commercial aircraft today. Investigating how best to prepare for possible future space missions, NASA astronauts become aquanauts each autumn to dive into a series of undersea experiments. Preparations are underway at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Aquarius Underwater Laboratory off Key Largo, Florida. That's where this year's participants in NEMO, NASA's Extreme Environment Mission Operations, will live for 9 days under the Atlantic to explore the challenges of a trip to an asteroid. The ocean bed's buoyancy and topography will serve as a good stand-in. Unlike the Moon or Mars, an asteroid has little gravity to hold astronauts or vehicles, so knowing how and where to place multiple anchors will be the focus of this year's event, the 15th annual NEMO. The undersea tests are scheduled for October. Astronaut Shannon Walker, the first native Houstonian in space, mingled and took pictures with students at her hometown alma mater, the Johnston Middle School. Walker was attending a breakfast in her honor.
It's possible to do these big things no matter who you are. I went to this school, I grew up in these neighborhoods around here, so just about anybody can do anything they put their mind to.
During her stay, she gave a presentation about her extended stay on the International Space Station.
You can do all kinds of things that you cannot do on the ground when you're in space. In this case, Tracy and I are moving this giant rack from the ceiling to the floor. The ground needed us to move it, so we moved it. For my particular space flight, I trained for 3 years. And think about that.
And in appreciation of her many accomplishments, the school renamed their science wing the Shannon Walker Science Satellite. Walker served on Expeditions 24 and 25 to the International Space Station last year. She and her crewmates launched on June 10th aboard a Russian Soyuz spacecraft TMA-19. While aboard the station, Walker and crewmate Doug Wheelock participated in a downlink with Johnston students.
And now, centerpieces.
For a group of engineers from NASA Langley, experiencing Endeavour's final flight at Cape Canaveral was more than just a launch. It was a moment they wouldn't forget. During the STS-134 mission, astronauts will test out a new state-of-the-art docking and navigation system developed in part by NASA Langley.